This is the case of Hung Wai Kit against Teh Dong Ju in the fight for children custody of Regina and Priscilla. The story goes where two young girls living in a separate household after the divorce of their parents. Regina, being the oldest out of the two siblings, is taken care under the custody of her father, Mr. Hung Wai Kit. Meanwhile, the younger sister Priscilla is taken care under the custody of her mother, Miss Teh Tong Ju. This footage will mainly show on how both of the sisters were being treated and taken care of. In this neighborhood, you will see a 14-year-old girl prancing her way into her home. This is Regina. It was decided that Regina had to live with her father after being separated with her mother and her sister Priscilla. As she heard some noise, she noticed her name being called by her dear father. There, Regina is on her way to be seated between her father and her grandmother. This captured the image of a very loving family. Regina is really happy to live with her father and her grandparents, knowing that she is living in a very happy and very safe environment. All the household members, including Mr. Hung Wai Kit and his mother, has been treating Regina very well. They always tend to her needs. And as her father, Mr. Hung Wai Kit, has always been able to carry the responsibility as a parent should to Regina. Even though she does not live with her mother anymore, Regina is still able to live like any other normal teenage girls. As Regina is getting ready to go to school, she hugs her grandmother very lovingly so, and later she asks her father for some pocket money. Then Mr. Hung Wai Kit took out a very large bill. In doing so, Regina was very surprised. It is a fact that he is a very well-financed man and is able to raise Regina in a comfortable home. Meanwhile, in a different household, there lived Priscilla, the younger sister, under the care of her mother, Miss Teh Tong Ju. Priscilla lived in a house with her mother, including other family members like her uncle and her cousin Desmond. Priscilla usually spent time alone by herself, mostly watching TV in the living room, knowing that her mother always seems to be very busy and has no time for her. It is also important to highlight that Priscilla is only an 11-year-old girl. She always tries to gain some attention from her mother and always ends up being ignored by her all the time. As she keeps trying, her mother continues to ignore her while working on her laptop. This has made Priscilla feel very sad. But she does not give up. She always tries to gain her mother's attention, but even doing so, her mother still left her behind as she goes to work. Here enters her uncle, as he is known to be very hot-tempered and always treats Priscilla in a very abusive manner. There's a time where he found out that Priscilla stayed up past her bedtime, and her uncle decided to punish her by hitting Priscilla with a belt even though the night was still early. Because of this abusive treatment, Priscilla does not have a good relationship with her relatives from her mother's side. Living in such abusive environment has made Priscilla very traumatized. As a young child, she deserves protection and care from her family. In some afternoon, Priscilla decided to play around the neighborhood. As she plays by herself, she was getting pretty lonely, and eventually she got bored and started to go look for someone. Then she spotted her cousin Desmond and ran straight towards him in order to invite him to play with her. After Priscilla managed to convince Desmond into playing with her, They have yet to decide what game they should play. Priscilla suggested that they should try to play a fun game of tag with one another. As they were chasing and chasing around each other, Priscilla somehow managed to catch Desmond, and in doing so caused Desmond to react very angrily as he was not satisfied with the result. This leads to Desmond bullying her by pushing her on the ground, which easily scared Priscilla. Out of rage and anger, Desmond decided to be mean towards Priscilla, even after she had fallen onto the ground. Desmond continues on harming Priscilla by kicking her and injuring her until she was badly hurt. As the violence continued, not soon after that, Regina arrived to the scene and was so shocked to see her younger sister was hurt by none other than her cousin Desmond. She then ran as fast as she can in order to stop her cousin from harming her sister. After stopping Priscilla from getting hurt by Desmond, both Desmond and Regina had a quarrel with each other. This is because Regina was so disappointed on how Desmond behaves towards her younger sister and tried to give Desmond a piece of her mind. Soon after that, Desmond decided to complain to his father, which was the uncle to Priscilla and Regina. The uncle decided to confront them. In this scene, it is very evident that the uncle is very angry at both of the sisters, especially towards Regina, because of the fight she had with Desmond earlier. Angrily, he slapped Regina across her face and continues to yell at them as if trying to scare them. Despite the fear she had for her uncle, Regina could not ignore the pain she's feeling. While in tears, she then made the decision to call her father in order to explain the incident with her uncle and her cousin. She had to tell everything and what had happened to her and her younger sister. While Mr. Hong White Kid was on his way to his car, as he opens his door, he received a call from someone, and that was his daughter Regina. While listening to the phone call, he found out that both of his daughters were being abused by his ex-wife's relatives. He then decided to do something about it in order to protect his children. He assured Regina that he will take care of both of them so that both of his daughters will be safe from any harm. After filing a police report, Mr. Hung Wai Kit made the decision to sue his ex-wife in order to gain custody of both of his children. Even so, Mrs. Teh Tong Ju still fights for her right of the custody for her children as well, at least for her daughter Priscilla. The court decided that both of the sisters should seek a consultant pediatrician in order to decide whether their current living condition is right for both of them. Both of the sisters choose to live with their father because of the mistreatment from their mother's relatives. It is a fact that the most affected child is Priscilla. Priscilla is not happy to stay with her mother along with her other relatives. After the decision of the court, both of the sisters is currently under the custody of their father. In addition to that, Mr. Hung Wai Kit decided to sponsor his ex-wife's transportation if she decided to visit their daughters, as she lives in a different state from her ex-husband and her daughters.